My dear, this is a call for you. Since the world began, as God knew what you are, and He wanted to fit you there where you deserve to be. So therefore He gave a call only to you, not to angels and not to any other species of life. Why? Because you have something special that there's nothing for you over here in this world. Your arrangement is there in the kingdom of God with God. This we are to know, that if there is dog, there is arrangement for dog. If there is horse, there is arrangement for the horse by our host. And for us also there is some arrangement from Him. And we are to ask Him how He has arranged, and then He will tell us, and then we may accept accordingly, and then we will all be fitted properly, no difficulty to anybody. All the other species of life have been befitted properly. And man was also told that you are no doubt to live as physical body in this world. But you as soul are my child, and you are to live with me, because you are my child. When your child comes from some distant land after a long time, you do not say, okay, you go somewhere else. I have no place for you with me. At any cost, He will have to make place for you in His nearest place where He Himself is there. So this was the call of the great God, that as He spake through the mouth of His holy prophets, who have been since the world began, He Himself did come down to tell us, and He Himself is there always. He never believes anybody else, because nobody else can give His message, which is from His heart. Because His message is not just a verbal message of language or some words. It is His heart which speaks, and that we are also a part of His heart, and we begin to listen and understand as soul. Therefore He had not sent anybody else, because nobody else is having such like competency. And that the body can be told something by some persons having some language. But our heart is only to understand what is from God, and what is God's heart, that is only to be understood by our heart as soul. And that is the reason that God has to come down to deliver His message directly where it will be properly and received by proper one. It is not given to second person, that it may be thrown away somewhere, and it is not handed over to us. And that has been the case with us already. All these instructions which are there, I am telling you, are not that these are not there in the scriptures. In the Holy Bible also there are so many information, wonderful information. Although Holy Bible is not written by the Master himself, it is second-hand information later on written by some of his disciples, and there are different gospels, and that we have to correct something out of them. But there are also scriptures which are directly written by the masters themselves, with in their own hand. And when I read those scriptures, really I find some smell of their hearts even. Because even those hearts could not be directly transferred to our heart through some languages, through some words, through some books. If these had been tried to be conveyed, still there is something. And that is this strong smell, strong fragrance, and love, and some kind of energy of that heart which was to express itself in some kind of words or language written in black ink on white paper, did not only remain something writing on the white paper by black ink or in some language, but some heart is still there. And what will be the condition when we find directly the contact of that great heart, and that we find it directly with our heart? That is really what we need and which will benefit us. So this message of God has been given to us specially, and if we do not find this message, what will happen to us? It is really very hard, very hard, very hard. That if you are drowning in the ocean and that a boatman comes to you and asks you to come to me and I will help you, and you neglect it, what will happen to you? You will be no more. Totally. And that is still worse than that with us. That this message which is there from God for us is so urgent, there cannot be any other message better or even equal to it. Very, 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 very low, very, very inferior. And this is the only thing which we are to know, what our God says. What is from God? Let me know it. Let me understand it. Let me do it. And then I will be able to live. This is my life. Everything is in it. And any difficulty or problem is there, that can only be solved by that great blessing which is in that message. And if I find that, understand it, I will find everything and understand everything. And if I do not find it and do not understand it, then I will find only something which is opposite to my self, which will only kill me. As one way is called the way of life, other is called way of destruction. There is nothing neutral. That here you are just going along and nothing will happen to wrong or nothing you will enjoy. But there are only two possibilities. Either you are to enjoy God and kingdom of God, the highest and best. As per perfection, God himself is enjoying, that we are to find. If we do not accept that, then horrible fires of hell are also there. There is no intermediate. Intermediate is there only for animals and birds, other species of life. There is no hell for them, and there is also no God and kingdom of God for them. There is some kind of neutral midway in between, through which they are going on progressing, and that is designed by God. And that what is designed for us by God, we cannot change it. Nobody can change it. Nobody has any authority to change. If somebody tells you, I will help you, other one says, okay, I can help you. No one can help you. This is not the authority or competency given to anybody. These are false assurances, which is then called ego, false ego. I can do, I will be able to do this, I will be able to do that. That is a totally false ego, because doership is only with God. Not only in Holy Bible, it is told that everything was made by Him. Everything was made by Him. And still further it is explained. And everything was made by Him. There was nothing made which are not made by Him. So that we may be very sure, very clear in understanding that He is the only doer of everything, and everything is done by Him. There is nobody else who has done anything, anywhere in His creation. He is the only doer. In other scriptures also it is explained, written in the same way. But why we are saying, I will be able to do, I can do, that person is bad, he has done something bad, that person is good, he has done something good. There is nothing good, there is nothing bad. It is only that when we are with our doer, we are all good. All those who are connected with the doer, God, we are all wonderful, and we grow more and more and more wonderful till we become as perfect, as good as God. And when we are disconnected from Him, then automatically we are connected to the negative power. As when the day, sun is there, we are connected with the light. But when sun is no more, there is automatically darkness. You are not to invite darkness, or you cannot repel it. The absence of light is there. That is called darkness, and it will be there. When there is no light, darkness is automatically there. So this second alternative, which is also pushing itself upon us, we cannot escape. They are two very strong powers. God is no doubt stronger than the negative power. That it means it is strongest. But negative power also is not feeling in any way weak, because it is only weaker than God. And in this world, there is no God. Therefore, the negative power says, I am the end all and be all of everything. You are under my control, and you will have to suffer, because I am only made for this purpose. As if you go to fire, it will only burn you. If you go to ice, it will only give some coolness to you. They cannot change their behavior because their structure is like that. In the same way, if God is all light, the negative power is all darkness. If God is all ecstasy, enjoyment, then negative power is totally source of troubles, problems and suffering. If God is all life, negative power is totally destruction, death. That is two opposites. Now we can well imagine what will be our fate when we are under the control of this destructive power, negative power. And what will happen when we turn our side towards the maker power, doer power of God, and that He takes us up, and when we reach our real home, which is the home of our Father, then what will be our situation? What will we be able to enjoy? That there is life, there is light, there is all knowledge, all wisdom, all ecstasy, all peace, everything wonderful and wonderful, of the highest quality, of the highest magnitude. And there is nothing better than that. And that is reserved for us. There is no doubt in it that if we ask for it, it will not be given to us. It has been ordered by God that whatever you will ask from me, it will be arranged. But the main difficulty is there that in us we are not working and we cannot ask what is really useful for us. We are awakened as mind and intellect, and we are only to ask for what is told to us or some kind of pushed to us that we may ask even from masters, even from saints, even from God. We pray for some worldly things. Rarely a person may be there who may say, my dear God, I don't want anything of this world. I don't want to live in this world. I want you. I want to live in your kingdom. I don't think there's anybody in this world who has such like prayer. Lucky and really wonderful that person will be who has such like demand. And if God asks you that what you want and you ask this, He will be very happy, very much pleased, and He will shower you at once all what you have asked for, because He is feeling like that everybody, my child, is to be blessed. And if he is asking for some kind of blessing, then I have to bless. But even if they do not ask for blessing, I have still to go to them and instigate them, persuade them, and tell them what is the horror which is awaiting them if they do not accept me, and what they will find if they accept me, wonderful and wonderful. And that after having understood all these situations which will be so hard without me and so wonderful with me, then my child may decide what I want that my child should ask for, and then he will be able to ask from me what I want that he should ask me. When God Himself is there, feeling like giving us, blessing us, then what is difficulty that we may not find? But still our mind is there in between. It is not really working properly. If we even start with meditations, our mind still goes around. That our mind plays such like tricks, very clever mind, very intelligent mind, and that he will not believe God, but he will always ask for, and that my children are there, and my house is there, my business is there, this is there, that is there. All the worldly thoughts, the mind becomes so super active that when you are meditating, all those thoughts of 50 years back or 30 years back, which you had never thought before at any time in your life, that will also come to you. And so many kind of fantasies will go on starting. I will do like that, I can do like this, I will do this, I will do like that. So many wonderful fantasies. And it will go on, and your mind will keep you engaged down. There's such like superactiveness of mind starts when you are meditating. Otherwise, in your ordinary life, you will not find any kind such like kind of thoughts, etc. It is due to special reason that mind is so much against us that he will not let us go up forward. And this is the main problem in our way. But there is nothing to worry about it. It is only active or super active because it is now feeling that I am now acted upon. If your horse is grazing somewhere in front of you, it will go on grazing. It will not be disturbed. But if you feel like going to it and catching it and it begins to understand that you have come to catch it, then it will become active. At once it will begin to run away. Otherwise, it was peaceful, there are no difficulty. But when it has come to know that there is something to happen, then it has to run away. Otherwise, our mind will go on working normally, not any special difficulty for us. But when we start meditation, then it becomes also very much superactive, alert, that I will not let you conquer over me. I will not let you conquer over me. I will not let you catch me. I have to live my own life. I have to control you. I had been controlling you since ages. And now you want to control me? There was a talk with the net power. I told her that what is difficulty with you? You will enjoy, I will also enjoy. All the people will also enjoy. Why all of us, you and me and all the people should not enjoy? Then it was replying, I understand. But my dear one, something is there. A ruler cannot be a slave. This is hard. I had been ruling up to today, ruling everybody, everywhere. And now, when I will accept you, I will be slave. I will not be able to do my will, but I will have to obey. That I cannot accept. This is not possible. This is the condition which is going on with all of you. This difficulty is there. But there is a solution to this problem. That as you go on meditating, at certain stage of time, you will find that all these thoughts which are very strongly working, at once they are cut. Especially when you are meditating on sound, all your mind and mental thoughts are acted upon very strongly. In Holy Bible also, this is written that this word of God is acting like a two-edged sharp sword and works as asunder to separate up all your chain of thoughts, and further it will totally stop. And some of you who are meditating, you would have found that chain of wonderful thought which was going on as per fantasy of the mind, when it is broken, just after a moment you try to think again, that the same idea may continue, you will not find any link to it. That idea which was 2 moments before with you, quite strongly, nicely going on with you, you will not be able to recollect. Otherwise, normally, if you talk to somebody, after some time, you can be asked what you have talked to that person, you can recollect. But from inside, what is the negative creation of the negative mind? When checked up by the power of God working in the sound meditation, word God, that is checked up in such a way that it is totally burnt up. And in this way, all those impressions, all those thoughts which we had collected from millions of the years, ages and ages, they are burnt up. And only then we are able to have new kind of impressions which are there from God to the soul, and those will be there on the mind, and then mind will be slave to us. Because we will begin to work more on the mind, and negative power will not be able to support it. Sport of negative power will go on down and down, down and down, down and down, and our power will be more and more occupying the mind, and mind will not remain mind. It will only be a slave to us as soul. But this process is no doubt gradual, but it is sure. And this is not something hard. We have to go along, but with patience and perseverance. There is nothing impossible when we begin to travel towards the way of life. Nothing is impossible. If you go on working in this world, in worldly way, which way of destruction, there will be difficulties and problems and impossibilities for which you will never find any possibility. And this is actually, I have also gone through by both kinds of lives, the worldly life and as well as the spiritual life. And I have also come in contact with so many kinds of people, and I have got their lifestyle experience, how they had gone. And they also tell very, very hard styles of life which they have gone through in the worldly ways. That worldly people who are working in this world are really suffering much more than the people who begin to work on spirituality. This is very real fact and hard fact which we do not believe. We generally believe that when we will begin to work according to instructions of the Master, we will lose everything. Everything will be gone away from us. But it is not like that. I have also gone through my situation that from the very beginning of my life, I have no affinity for my relatives and friends. It is my natural from the previous lives. And I was going along in my own way of life. And when I was going to somebody, or somebody was coming to me from my friends or from my relatives, and they were very much blaming me that that I am not attending to them, I don't take care of them, and that it is not good like that. I went on listening, what is it? Okay. And after they had unburdened their heart, then they are going back and they were going on still normally. And afterwards, I could feel that if I do not go to them, they begin to come to me. This is the way of the world. That first they will try to suppress you, but if you are not suppressed, then they will come down. And then they will go on cooperating with you. This word is not lost. This word is then not your controller, but this is your servant. Then everything will come to you, to serve you, to be for you, and you are not to attend to anybody. Everybody will have to attend to you. That you will find everybody and everything, whatever you want or need, but you are not worried for anything or anybody. Is that not a wonderful thing? Is not that really what we need? But otherwise, there is no control on anybody. Even your own children are not in your control. And how a master can control all the people of this world and also all the souls of these three worlds. He is controlling all the three worlds. How he is working? Because he knows what is the competency of a man and how he can control not only his own family, not his own self, own mind, but also all the world and all the three worlds. In Bible also it has been explained that he who overcomes, to him I will give powers to rule over the nations. All the nations, all over the world, God says that if you come out of the control of the mind and come to me, reach me, then I will give you all those powers. Who says? God says. Could negative power of your mind also say something like that? Some such like a surety it could give, it can give. Can it help you in any way? No, there's no way. It will only say, go on trying, go on trying, go on trying. You may or may not find. But God says, ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find it. And knock and it shall be opened unto you. My dear, what is impossible when you come to me and that you will not find? You will not get. Everything is there for you. This we have not learnt as yet. This we have not known as yet. And it is true also. It is not something which is some kind of verbal satisfaction of fairy tales just to amuse you as you go to some cinema hall or you sit before TV and they will show you so many things, but nothing is there with you. You come empty-handed and with a headache. That is what you get from all these amusements, all these nice things which we have enjoyed from these worldly arrangements. But when you go to God, and then you get blessings for all the people of the world. That is something wonderful, which we cannot understand as yet, but it is there. That God has having control in all His creation, not to talk of this world. And if you come in contact with some king or emperor who has control in some country of this world, then you will also find some power that you go to him and get anything done from him by contacting him in his kingdom. In the same way, if we have contact with God, then we will be able to get everything done in His kingdom, what is there we want. And His kingdom is there ruling everywhere. And through us, that kingdom and that rule God is also to work here in this world, in other three worlds also. It means all over the creation of Lord God, we have got authority through that competent God who has authority all over His creation. This is the ruling. You can understand it very well. That through that agency you can work, and that is competent, and that agency is available to you. It is not that you have to work for it, you have to wait for it. It is already there with us. God is in us, kingdom of God is in us, for us. And everybody has got. Every individual is attended to personally by God. It is not for one family of 4 children, there is one father, one mother, that all the 4 children are to share one father or one mother. And that can be difficult. And that God is so much justified that He knows that sharing with each other will not work. I will not also be satisfied if I am having one child in my lap and the other 2 are crying outside. They are also my children. If one is there enjoying, why should others have to suffer? What is the reason? Why I cannot make arrangement for them? Then I am not a father. I am not a justified one. I am a cruel father. I can only help some and cannot help others. Why not? Then he felt like that I have to help all equally. One may be king, one may be beggar, one may be high, one may be low. In any state, one may be just living as human being. I am to be available for everybody in equal way. In equal way, for everybody. And that if we do not accept such like friend, such like father, such like mother, then we are really unfortunate to lose contact with such like friend, such like sympathizer, such like really loving father and competent one, whom we need also very much, without whom nobody could live in this world. Up till today in the history of the world, as far as I have found, read, or even in my life I have experienced, there is nobody who can live without God, that I am now satisfied. I am now satisfied with something else than God. That is never possible and cannot be possible. And why the man has not been able to understand this easiest way, that if you are to become an engineer, you will have to spend so much money and efforts. For any business or for any other profession, you have to work hard, very hard, very hard, very hard. But to find God, it is just everybody can find. There is no one who is hopeless case or impossible that circumstances do not permit. For everybody. And that, how easy it is. That go to the master and he will hand over you. Okay, have God. Have kingdom of God. Okay? Have it. Enjoy it. Very simple. So simple that Lord Christ had given contact of the kingdom of God to his disciples. And then told them, go to the people and tell them why they are very much worrying about finding the kingdom of God, that is very difficult, very hard, they cannot. Tell them the kingdom of God is at hand. It is already in your hand. It is already for you, with you. Just have it. Is it difficult? When something is on your hand, then it is already with you. You are not to find it. You are not to collect it. It is already for you. You are only to have. Just have it. Own it. This is what spirituality is. How simple, how wonderful, how great it is. But I am sorry that you, my dear ones, have not even yet understood it. That it is so important and also available. It has been given to you. That is why it is told to all of us, don't yearn for anything of this world. Master has told that those who lose, that those who find life over here, they lose it. That those who become great, successful in this life, they become unsuccessful. And those who lose their life for my sake, they will find it. They will find it surely, because you have sacrificed your life on the proper side, utilized your life on the proper side, and it will give proper results, really wonderful, sweet fruit. It is told generally in aphorisms that hard efforts bring sweet fruit. But it is not always like that. Any hard and more hard and still hard efforts which you put in under the instigation of the negative power, can it will give you sweet fruit? As example of Alexander the Great, I had given you already. That he had also worked very hard, very hard, very hard. But what fruit he could find? In this world he only suffered. On not even one day he could go back and rule as a king of the kingdom which he had made, or that wealth which he had collected he could enjoy. Even one day. When he was going back, he died in the way. And after that, what had happened? very clear that all those seeds which he had sown, very hard, very horrible, he is still going on suffering. And he will go on suffering. He had done very hard efforts all along the life, but the result of all these hard efforts is also horrible. So this aphorism is not really true, that any hard toils will bring you sweet fruit, but all these hard toils, maybe hard toils or maybe soft ones, but if done under the guidance of a master, under the control of God, and according to his will, that will bring a really sweet fruit. A sweet one will be able to give you sweet fruit. Otherwise, the evil will only be able to give you evil, because he has got only evil. What negative power has with it? Sufferings. If you work more for it, it will give you more sufferings. If you work less for him, it will give you also sufferings, maybe less. It means we are not to do anything for it. Not to do anything for it. Because it has nothing with it which is to give, it can give to you. And that if you are serving some person who is having only poisonous food, and after the work you ask for the food and he gives you that food, you will die with that food because it is poisonous, or you will suffer. So don't work for that person who has got only poisonous fruit for you, for your labor. Only work for that person who has got useful thing for you, with which you may work, but everything which you will get as a reward will be all wonderful, all be nice, which we will be able to enjoy. I am telling to you these things because I feel like that you will understand these. And that I believe in you, that as worldly people, you will not ignore, but you will understand and will try to work upon it, and will believe in me what I am telling you. But I am not telling me. It is truth. It is the truth which is there, which is being told to you. And truth may be told by me, may be by anybody else, or may not be told by anybody, but it has to work, it has to exist. It cannot be ignored. So this truth that God is your God, and to help you, to bless you, to give you everything and all that you are to enjoy. And any other thing which is there, that's certainly under the control of negative power, through your mind and all this worldly materialism, that is only to destroy us. This is truth. It had been since the world began. And it has been made by God, and He has told it. He has also explained it accordingly. And therefore He had arranged for it, that how this region of valley of death, where evil rules with suffering, is to be viewed by my souls, and that they are not to suffer. Because when this religion was made, and there was no living being in this world, in these three religions. And then the negative power, which was in charge of it, asked God, what is there? It is only death. It is only nothingness. It is just like moon. What I will do here? Then God told, okay, go on, young guys. It is your fate. I cannot give you anything. I am sorry. The net power was praying and praying to God, and for some billions of years he had been praying to God, praying to God, praying to God, and that at last God considered, okay, my dear, what you want? And my dear, something, which may be some existence. And that is only my soul, only myself. But they will be tortured. How can I give you myself and my soul for torture to you? They are not made for this purpose. Then take pity upon me. At least you have given me something. Let it be populated. Let it be having something in it that I may have to enjoy. No doubt your soul will suffer with me because I have nothing else than sufferings. And I cannot help them in any way. They have to suffer. But my dear God, I promise that you may come, but in the garb of a man. You are not to show any miracle. You are not to show any powers vividly. And you are not to talk directly, but you are to come as a human being, and you may look like a human being. Nothing more than a human being. Nobody may recognize you that you are God. And you can only tell to the people, inform the people, the souls who are over here, that there is a God. You are not to say that I am God. You are to say there is a God, there is the kingdom of God. God has provided all these things in you, and you can find and you can enjoy it, and you will come out of the suffering. And those souls who accept your instructions and then are ready to accept you for help, only to them you can help. Otherwise, all those who do not like, you are not to press them. You are not to push them in any way. Because otherwise all will go away. I will again be having nothing. This was the compromise. And that we are suffering with this compromise. But still, God is satisfied and inherent power is also satisfied. God is satisfied that I will always be here in this world. There will be no time when I will not be here in this world, and I will go on attracting my souls, and who had suffered really for long times. They will be collected and I will escort them back. And that my souls will not suffer forever, for eternity. For some time they will have to suffer. And that it is not my souls who will be suffering, I will be suffering with them. Because I will also be in this world. And I will be also in the human beings. And if you are, let me toe, finger, the last toe is suffering, your whole body is suffering. It is connected. God is all consciousness. And when we as souls suffer, God is suffering, really. It's not we are suffering only, God is suffering with us. And God has to arrange against it. And therefore He is arranging. So this is some kind of arrangement of the creation. That there was time, there was no creation. It was only God. And that everything was okay, everything was wonderful. No negative power, no creation, no separation of souls. All drops were there in the ocean, and all were enjoying as oneness of God in Him, and everything was going on. In Adi Granth it is written that about 36 ages went on like this. And after that, there was some vibration in the consciousness of God, and he felt like that I should now also have some creation. And this creation was then of two kinds. This is second kind, lower one, and the upper one. Upper one is still really wonderful. There is no difficulty and problem. But this lower one is there, which is a problem. And for that, we are to find the solution. And if we listen to God and accept Him and do according to Him, then all we will be safe here and also hereafter. There will be no difficulty and no problem. So, why God has come down and has tried to approach all of you and tell all of you, because He loves you. He cannot see you suffering. He cannot bear it. And that He has to also make some arrangement for us. The arrangement only is that we go to Him. Where He is there in us. We are not to go to some market or some other place to find Him. He is already here in us, and that we are to know it, believe it from the very beginning, and then we will be able to go along with it. But the difficulty is there that from the very early age, our minds and hearts have been filled with the worldly knowledge and worldly relations and worldly dependencies, that here you can find help, here you can find help, and everybody has got very firm conviction that with some kind of property, with some kind of money, with some kind of good businesses or professions, or some kind of good family or houses, we can enjoy. If you go to any person, they will tell like this. Nobody has got this idea that we need God and kingdom of God. This impression is totally away. This education which is given also to these students in the schools and colleges, that is also given in of the same way. And that how we can understand something which is not told to us, which is not informed to us, because the intellect and mind is only knowing what is told to us. If you go to some city to find your friend and you have got the address, you ask some person to guide him, to guide you on the proper street or which direction, and somebody gives you wrong direction. You take it as correct because you have not known it. You do not know it. You cannot verify it. What is told to you may be right, may be wrong. It is good, right for you. That is the main difficulty. That we don't know anything ourselves. And what is told to you, told to us, it is all wrong. It is all opposite. And we have to accept it because we have nothing else to compare. That we may ask somebody else also the way, and that person may tell you the correct way, then you can decide which can be the real one or not real. There is no other one. Everybody in this world will tell you the opposite direction, negative direction, way of destruction only. No one will tell you the way of life. Then you will have to certainly accept that this is really the way, and that's not really the way. If the East is let on this side, and all the people of this world begin to say East is on this side, then you will say, this person says on this side, that person says on that side, that person says on this side, it must be on this side. Because so many people say, and tomorrow morning you find the sun is coming from this side. Because this is truth. If the people could not know the truth and they have found some untrue thing and they have taken it as truth, all the 6 billion population of the world may say it is, this is the truth, this is the East, it will not become East. Because majority is not authority, truth is authority. In the law of truth, truth is authority. So what the people of this world say, that is nothing we are not to accept. And what our soul, when awakened by the Master, or when what Master says, that is truth. Because he has verified the truth. He had found already. And after verification, he has believed it. And then he is telling to the other persons, and that is believable. That is why in all the scriptures, it has been told that we are to believe only the instructions and guidelines of a Master who is connected with God and kingdom of God and is well versed with the connection of the truth. And how you are to find it? How you can test it? That he will also connect you with the same truth with which he is connected. To some extent you will find something. That he will also show you the kingdom of God. He will also show you the word God and also the light of God, and may also find some peace or sweetness or some love or some fragrance or some good feelings, which are the gifts of the kingdom of God and God. Even on the very first day of initiation, there may be some 1-2% or 5% people who may not. There may be little hard chronic cases are also there. But if 100 persons go to a doctor who are all patient, and 95 patients are cured, and 5 persons are not cured, then the 5-1 cannot say that this doctor is inefficient. He is not a doctor. He cannot cure. Because 95 have been cured, and only 5 are not yet cured. So they have to wait for later. 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day. I was in African countries some time back, and there are initiated some persons, and out of those there was one person who could not find any inner connection. But he was also a very nice gentleman. He kept on coming. After 4th day, on the 4th day, then he found light and also sound. That some patience is required, that some patients come and they are given the medicine and go back. They are helped. Some patients are to be admitted and they have to stay in the hospital for 5 days, 10 days, 8 days, 9 days. And some are even to report into intense care. Those with the really chronic cases. But there is a hope for everybody. But such like chronic cases are few, not so many. All can be handled, all can be cured. Is there any now better solution of the problems? What I have told you, it is all foolproof, it is all wonderful, and it is very clear. But I will still say you that you are still under the hypnotic control of the negative power, and I am trying to take you out. And that negative power is still having its control. And that is why you are feeling some difficulty. But as long as the enemies are there around us, we have to be very careful. Remain in your house. Remain with your parents. Remain with your protectors. Don't go out alone. Otherwise, again you will be attacked. And when all the enemies are all driven out, disposed of, then you can be free and you can enjoy freely all this world, everywhere. So as yet, the control of negative power is very strong, and you have to keep as such connected with satsangs and such like places that at least once a year or twice a year for 10 days, 20 days, you are to attend such like gatherings. As some people feel like that they are living in their homes, but they feel a little boring, tired of the daily life and feel like going on excursion to some place where they may have little change of atmosphere, and they come back, they feel better. In the same way, you are also to take such like places as excursions instead of going to the negative power at other places and collect more negativity over there. These places have been made for you for this purpose. That here you will not have to live in some hotels or in negative atmosphere. And this is your own home. This is like your own home. It is so natural. It is so immune from all the worldly negativity, and that it is charged with God power, although negative power is also very much trying to charge it simultaneously. And that it is going weaker and weaker, and there will be some time that this place will be totally free from the control of the negative power, and anybody who will come here will find all nice, wonderful results, a wonderful life, a wonderful, peaceful living, and everything will be okay. As my master Sant Singh used to say that once his master had visited his place and there was satsang. After the satsang, my master requested his master to visit his home. He came, visited his home, and then the master took his master to that place, to that small room in which he was meditating. And that room was always only used for this purpose only. And the master, Baba Sahib Singh, entered into that room, and when he came out, that was closed, locked, and after that he was finding, my master was finding that whenever he was entering into the room, the sound was all vibrating, all sounding, resounding, sounding, from the walls, from the floor, from the roof, because it was all charged by the great power of the God, of Master, and that he was going in that room only for the purpose of meditations, not for any purpose just to take rest or to sleep over there. And no one was allowed to go over there, because if anyone who is having some charging or negative power goes into that room, will spoil all that positive charging, and that there will be some loss, and there will not be same benefit. So it is not only you that you are responsible for your meditations. It is also the surrounding atmosphere. If some negative persons are sitting around you, who are having negative thoughts or negative ideas, you will not find any result. You will find all active mind. But if you are sitting by the side of some persons who are well connected inside, you will also automatically rise higher up. The atmosphere is also very much a factor which is to be taken care. If you go to some market and come back from the market, you will not be able to meditate, at least for 1 day or 2 days. If you look at the TV for 1 hour or half an hour, you will not be able to meditate for 1-2 days. And the effect of the negativity which is there so strong that has its effect. But when you are here, you are with the Master, there is great help. And you can develop your spiritual aspect very wonderfully, very nicely. And when you go back, then you will have sufficient power with you that all those which were affecting you and you were controlled by them, you will be able to keep themselves immune. Their effect will be no more upon you. Rather, you will be able to affect them. You will be stronger than them. And in this way, all that outer effect will be less and less, and your own power will be more and more in you, till you are so strong that only you can affect others, nobody can affect you. That situation is to be achieved. But in the beginning, the child is taken care by the mother, father, brothers and sisters, all the family members, because child is too weak. But as the child grows, the help is a little less and less needed, and after some time when the child is fully grown up, he doesn't need any help. He can keep on, go along with one's own independent lifestyle. In this way, you are yet small growing children. So you are to take care of yourself, and that all these arrangements which are there made for you, for your protection, and that you, what you need, that tender care that is available to you, that is to be accepted to you, by you. You have to understand it. And when you will go along accordingly, you will grow, no doubt, surely, certainly, and that at certain stage you will be really grown up wonderfully. Okay, my dear, I want that all you should grow as quickly as possible. But what I want, what I feel, you should also have this demand in you, and ask the Master from inside, if he is inside you, and he will help you. Okay, my dear, now prepare yourself for meditation.